Look at how we live, whips to the crib. Had to do it big, so we did what we did. Had to take risks, told the full fifth. Some they can't relate, they ain't living like this. Look at how we live, look at how it is. Look at how we live, look at how it is.
Welcome back to Camden Strong, where we share the real stories of resilience, leadership, and community power straight from the heart of Camden, New Jersey. Today, we've got 3 guests who prove that no matter where your life takes you, medicine, finance, music, or acting, your Camden roots, they stay with you. We're talking to a first-generation medical student with a vision to bring healthcare equity home, a certified financial planner using his expertise to build wealth in his hometown, and an independent artist and actor who turned his toughest chapters into creative fuel. Different journeys, one mission: to give back to the city that raised them. This is Camden Strong. Thank you again for coming, and I am your host, Tamika Mason, and I am so lucky to be here with my partner in person, my co-host,
José Marrero. Bienvenido nuevamente a Camden Strong Podcast. Bienvenido a este espacio donde rompemos mitos y contamos la verdadera historia de Camden, Nueva Jersey. Hoy tenemos el privilegio de presentar a 3 jóvenes que son pruebas vivas que nuestra ciudad no solo es conocida por su resto, sino también por su talento, preparación y sueños cumplidos. Con nosotros está un estudiante médico que vive y revive la vida de cualquier persona, y otros financieros que ayudan a la comunidad de Camden a construir el futuro económico de la persona. También tenemos un artista que transforma emociones, artes y creatividad a la ciudad de Camden. Bienvenido a Camden Strong, Nueva Jersey.
Okay. So now we are making sure that we're incorporating our translation as well, because we want this to be a community.
What you saying in English, that's what I'm saying in Spanish.
Did you just cut me off?
Yes. Oh.
That's exactly what I was saying. Go ahead. What I'm saying in English, you saying in Spanish. You said stop.
Oh, you were talking?
That. Anyway, we have guests too.
No
Let's get on to
okay.
our show.
Go ahead.
We have our guests. As we mentioned, we have 3 strong-minded men here from different generations, from different walks of life, joining us today. And I just want to say thank you for joining us, Jose and I, on the Camden Strong podcast. You are officially our first guest. Give it up for
Bienvenido.
So let me just give a little quick introduction on each of our guests, right? We have here at the end Mr. Cameron Klotz, a proud Camden native and the eldest of 11 siblings. Cameron has been a role model, a leader, and anchor for his family since day one. From supporting his single mom to blazing a trail as a first-generation medical student at Cooper Medical School of Rowan University, his journey is rooted in persistence, service, and deep community pride. Cameron's path took him from earning a degree in biochemistry at Rowan University to a Master of Public at the University of Pennsylvania to groundbreaking research at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Along the way, he's tackled environmental health education, fought for food access, mentored youth, and championed public health initiatives that meet people where they are. Inspired by his grandmother and his mom's compassion, Cameron's vision as a future pediatrician is clear: to bridge hospital care with grassroots outreach, tackling challenges like nutrition, mental health, and medical mistrust head on. He's here to change health outcomes for communities like the one that raised him, making medicine as human as it is in clinical. There is more than a story of becoming a doctor. It's a story about resilience, community, and the responsibility to lift as you climb. This is Camden Klotz, and this is Camden Strong. Welcome.
That was awesome.
So next we have Marcus Coleman. Marcus Coleman is a certified financial planner professional with nearly a decade of experience guiding families, individuals, nonprofits, and business owners toward their financial goals. A Camden native himself, Marcus was valedictorian at Cooper's Point Family School, a dual sport athlete at Camden Catholic High School, and earned a full scholarship to Syracuse University, where he completed a dual major in finance and supply chain management. Fully licensed in investments and insurance, Marcus holds the prestigious CFP designation and is pursuing his Chartered Finance Analyst designation, all while serving on multiple boards, including the Board of Trustees for Camden Catholic. But beyond the titles and accolades, Marcus is committed to something bigger, bringing his expertise back to Camden to help the community that shaped him build wealth, stability, and opportunity. From playing on the field to the financial field, Marcus is about strategy, perseverance, and service. Again, this is Marcus Coleman, and again, this is Camden Strong.
Thank you.
Welcome, Marcus. For our last guest, as I mentioned before on our show today, we're talking about resilience, reinvention, and the power of purpose with someone whose life story reads like a movie. Here we have born and raised in Camden, New Jersey, Richie Nunez, who grew up navigating the challenges of the streets. By 12, he was on probation. By 14, incarcerated. His teenage and young adult years were marked by stints in juvenile and adult prison, but even in the darkest moments, one thing kept him calling: music. Known as Richie in the streets, he built a reputation in Camden's music scene through talent shows, freestyle battles, ciphers, although he pulled off the streets, and that took priority. After serving a final 5-year sentence of firearms possession, Richie made a decision that would change everything. He was done with all of that back and forth. Stepping away from the street life, he stepped fully into his creative calling, reinventing himself as Porter Rich. Yes, folks. He built a music career from the ground up, releasing projects, winning awards, and working with industry icons like Havoc of Mobb Deep and producer Vinny Idol. His music made waves on Philly radio and Shade 45, keeping his voice in the airways and his name in the game. But Porter Rich didn't stop. He didn't stop there. His passion for acting led to roles in theater productions and indie films like Chase Street, The Recession, Money Lovers, the Amazon Prime release Sons of Sins. Everybody heard about that? And from the block to the big screen, Porter Rich is living proof that your past doesn't define your future. Your drive does. And so again, this is his journey. This is Porter Rich. Everyone give it up. Camden Strong. Okay. How was the introduction, guys?
Amazing.
I do that every day in my life.
Right? Motivating.
I can come out of the pageant scene right now. I think we can get right on to it. Let's talk about it. So, getting right into it. When someone asks you where you're from, what's the first thing that you tell them about Camden? Or yet, before that, what's your first reaction? When someone asks you, where are you from? What's that first reaction? And then what is the one thing that you mention behind that reaction when you tell them you're from Camden?
For me, I definitely just feel like I be proud. I be proud before I tell them. Like when I get the question, I just be proud. Like you said, it's Camden is known for just being like a tough place, you know, for a long time. And a lot of people know that. And I think a lot of people got a lot of respect for Camden. Everywhere I go, New York, and I go to, you know, I've been to some of the other roughest cities, you know, Detroit, New York, everywhere. When you tell them you're from Camden, the first thing, like, people do is they nod and, you know, they know. A lot of people be familiar with here, you know, and they got a lot of respect for Camden. So I be proud.
So you feel a sense of pride?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, you know, when I be happy. I be happy to tell them and proud that I am from here, that I'm born and raised from here. It's a good feeling, you know, and it's definitely also a good feeling when they reciprocate the love and they show you like that it's respect and it's love, and they know about where you're from. You know, for one of the smallest cities in the United States of America.
Una pregunta te quiero hacer. Cuando alguien te pregunta de dónde tú eres también, ¿cómo tú te sientes sabiendo que Camden tenemos una historia atrás muy, ¿cómo te digo? Una historia negra, que tú la sabes, también la sé yo, porque hemos vivido aquí muchos años. ¿Cómo tú te sientes? ¿Cómo tú le respondes a esa gente la historia de Camden, o cómo tú te presentas que tú eres de Camden?
Yo me siento bien y de verdad me siento feliz cuando me hacen esa pregunta, porque ya yo sé que yo le voy a decir de dónde yo soy. Y tú sabes, a mí me gusta que yo soy de un sitio donde no era fácil. Todo no era fácil, era mucho, tú sabes, mucho dolor aquí, muchas cosas que la gente pasaron. Y, pero para estar aquí todavía y cambiarme la vida, y también para todo el mundo que están tratando de cambiar a Camden ahora, para hacerlo más bueno, se siente bien.
¿Tú ves la diferencia del pasado, el presente de ahora? ¿Ves la diferencia? ¿Cómo tú ves el cambio que ha venido ahora haciendo?
Es como, tú sabes, ahora mismo más que tenemos como más gente, tú sabes, más gente de aquí que están tratando de hacer las cosas bien para cambiar las cosas aquí de Camden, para cambiar todo lo que estaba pasando antes en los años pasados. Y yo estaba aquí cuando todo estaba malo. Yo nací aquí, como ella estaba dándole un canto de la historia mía. Yo estaba laqueado, yo le di mucho dolor a mi familia también, ¿sabes? Bregando y haciendo las cosas que no eran bien. Y para todo estar cambiando, ya yo cambié la vida mía también, para tratar de hacer una vida mejor. Para yo, para los nenes míos, para la familia mía, y para ver que todo el mundo afuera de yo y la familia mía, pero todas las otras gente que son de aquí, de Camden, que nacieron aquí o vivieron aquí por un tiempo, todo el mundo se siente ahora mismo como si todo el mundo quiere mejor. Todo el mundo está cansado de lo que estaba pasando y la vida dura así. Yo creo que todo el mundo está peleando por la misma cosa, para tener un Camden mejor y un Camden fuerte, como ustedes dicen.
No, that was a lot. What did you just say?
No, that's good. No, because we're feeling what the past is trying to do the present. You know, it's good. What he's doing is perfect.
Right. So what did you say?
Same thing you said in English, I said in Spanish to him, and he answered back to me. And I told him, you know, how he feel when he go out, you know, and the people asking, you know, you from Camden. He was talking about his past and the present now. So it's perfect.
Yeah, and the only other thing he mentioned was just like, you know, how do you feel about just Camden where it was and Camden now and what's going on now? And I just told him, you know, it's a good feeling, because I was sick and tired of just my personal lifestyle and paths that I chose, you know, when I was in Camden, and it was just dark times for Camden, where a lot of stuff was going on, and I got sick and tired of it. And I just told him, like, right now it just seems like a lot of people that's from here and a lot of the leaders that's from here, they sick and tired, and everybody want to break, everybody want to see something new, something different, a better Camden, and it's just a great feeling, you know. It's a good feeling.
It's good. It's
So
good.
Marcus, thank you. Marcus, what what's the first thing that comes to mind when someone asks you about Camden?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I used to hide that I was from Camden. When I went to private school, I would say I was from South Jersey. When I went to Syracuse University, even on my athletic profile, it said Voorhees, New Jersey, because I moved to Voorhees my senior year. Now, like Puerto Rich, now that I'm in rooms that a lot of people from Camden have never been, I feel like I'm a bridge. There's a pride there. I let them know, yes, I'm from Camden, and we're sitting in the same room now. And it gives me so much motivation.
So pride for you too. Cam, how about yourself?
For me personally, I feel like when I tell someone I'm from Camden, first of all, I claim it with 100% of my soul. But like, I'm also surprised because like their reaction is like they don't expect someone from Camden to be here, like especially in the medical space. So for me, it's kind of like for me, it's like when I see people react that way or like or they're surprised, I'm like, okay, well now I got a lot more to prove. Right?
So wait, so sorry to interrupt, because you jumped right into it, but basically when you say Camden, when they ask where you're from and you say Camden, you're saying that you get a response of they're shocked that you're from Camden. Why? Why do you feel like they're shocked?
Well, because I walk into certain spaces and I take up space, and I'm not like trying to brag, but I think walking, living out here in Camden, we all walk the streets of Camden, we know what it is to live here every day. So for me, I don't walk into any other space differently.
Yeah.
I bring my 100% authentic self.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but I know that my sign, Sagittarius, it comes out. As soon as somebody say, where are you from? And I say Camden, I'm ready with the archer, like what you got to say about it, I do get that sense of defense, and it is pride, but it's also protection. I'm protecting Camden, protecting the community. So I try to work on that where it's not like, Camden, what you got to say, and folks do also, share a sense of surprise as well. And again, I'm like, no, it's plenty of us out there.
Yeah.
It's plenty of Camden Strong, Camden Resilience, Camden Empowerment out there. And again, this is why we have this podcast. And so, moving right along, that's just the premises of what this is. Each of you have your stories that represent the roots, right? Like where we were born and raised here, our journeys began here, and we're right back here, just giving back our mission. All of our missions, even in our different fields, is giving back. So, in thinking about Camden, and knowing that Camden shapes each and every one of us, it tests you, it teaches you, and it stays with you no matter where you go. So I want to talk more about that foundation. So here's the first question, and I don't know who's going to be the first to answer it. You can tap in too.
All right, no problem.
Bring the.
I'm ready. I'm strong. I'm from Camden.
Make sure you bring the Espanol in, But here's the first question. When you think back to growing up right here in Camden City, what's one memory that shaped you on who you are today? Marcus, we'll start with you since Porter Rich went first.
So it's a tough question, but I instantly think back from growing up on 848 North 9th Street, and I went to Cooper's Point. So it was about 8 city blocks that I had to walk to school and back. And from my walk to school, there was about 4 active drug sets that I had to walk through. And you saw needles, you saw active trade. At the time, at the youth, I really wasn't processing it, but because how I was raised in faith and the value of education, I learned at a young age how to block out the noise. And that's something that really sticks with me. Even to this day, when I face adversity, I know how to block out the noise and get towards my goal.
So you said 848 9th Street, that's North Camden.
That's North Camden.
Okay, North Camden in the house.
I'm from North.
I'm from North. Cam, where are you from?
I'm from North as well.
Oh, you claiming North?
Yeah, we're strong. We're strong North.
You said earlier Centerville, now we North, because North strong, right?
What I remember is Centerville growing up, but apparently when I was a baby, being, people carrying me around, I was in North Camden, so I don't know.
Okay, all right, so question is to you, what's something that sticks to you growing up that shapes who you are today?
Yeah. So my mom is a CRN, and so she would very frequently take me, no one else could watch me, or babysit me, so she would take me to her patient's house. We would go up Polot, we would go downtown, wherever her patients was. And they're usually like 70, 80-year-old patients, and they really didn't have anyone like taking care of them. Like child, brothers, sisters, nothing. So my mom, she would bring me there, and I would see like a lot of the work that she was doing, very much like taking care of people like they were their own. And then that kind of inspired me to like learn more about like taking care of people, medicine, like. So I think for me, it was like that like experience set me off on the track, and then I wound up applying for Bryn Medical Arts High School, and the rest is history. So.
Bryn Medical Arts
Yep.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Bremen
yes.
House.
So even like the education, us being rooted in education also shapes who we are today. But your mom started off in medicine as well.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
that's again our roots, right? When we really step back and think about who we are, where we come from, it just tells us who we're going to be in the future automatically. So, Porter, how about you?
I'm originally from downtown Camden. Born
downtown. We representing today.
born downtown, and I moved out Pollock when I was like 9, and I've been out there ever since. For me, I ain't gonna lie, man. For me, a lot of my pain, coming up, just making, poor choices, wrong decisions, eventually really like became my fuel, and that's something that just, even still to this day, when I run into like stuff, tough tasks and things may not go as easy as I want it to go, and things may not be falling in line the way I want them to fall in line for me. I just resort back to like a lot of the stuff that I've been through, and I know and understand that it could be way worse. I'm in a way better space in life, than I was. And yeah, that pain, man, I'm putting that pain on my family like that, because my mom and dad always fought for, to try to do the right thing with us. And we chose what we chose, and I disobeyed my mom and dad for a long time. And just the pain in my kids. When my kids came, because I was always trying to change. Even when I was young, getting incarcerated, I used to come home, I used to try on probation. I used to try to like not violate and do certain things that I knew was going to lead me back down like those same paths, back to like the youth houses, back to these residential programs that they would take me away from my family. I would be hurting away from my mom and them, and I was around strangers. And I always tried, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
So remembering the past and remembering having the support, having the family unit, but not really listening is what makes you think about today and making sure that you continue the legacy of going the right way.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. Tough places and tough trials and tribulations.
So Jose, what do you think?
Aquí tenemos 3 jóvenes de la ciudad de Camden, uno que es estudiante médico y uno que es financiero y otra persona que es artista. Aquí en Camden Strong somos un podcast que venimos a decir la verdad. Son 3 historias diferentes de la ciudad de Camden. Ahí ustedes escucharon la historia, su verdadera historia de cada uno. Camden Strong es un podcast que venimos aquí a hacer la verdad. Venimos a decir la historia del pasado y del presente. Tenemos aquí a Tumica y Marrero.
Okay, so now moving right along and thinking about some of the greatest tools of success is imitation, right? And we imitate folks that we are influenced by. We take some from here, somebody from here, something somebody's doing here. What are some of the influencers from your journey? And I'll start with you, Cam.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, like my mom was a single parent and my dad was incarcerated. So, just growing, my mom had me at 19. She was a teenager. So growing up basically with my mom, my grandpa stepped in, and basically he would like call me on the weekends or call my mom on the weekends, and he would say, "Hey, what Cam doing? Send him over." So I would go walk, meet him at a house. He does restorations and like building and demolition. So he had me like, picking up carpet or like, stapling stairs up and doing all like the small jobs. And then he would, sometimes he would give me a little money on the side or give me lunch. But I think for me, he really showed me a lot of just hard work and being able to connect with people. He could talk to anybody in the neighborhood. He knows a lot of people, and for me, I wanted to be like that.
Anybody want to jump in? Anybody else? What are your biggest influencers?
For me, I got to take a page out of Cam's book, because for me, it was my parents definitely like influenced me a lot, motivated me a lot, like just watching them never give up, from never even giving up on their kids, you know, when we was just doing all that stuff, choosing the wrong path. But just period, my mom and dad, they worked. My dad worked for the city for 30 years, you know, doing exterminator work. My mom was a foster parent. She took care of other people's children that was just going through stuff. And just, you know, watching them, you know, have that tenacity, you know, and in a rough place like that, and just still be family oriented, you know what I mean? Try to fight for the family and keep the family together, especially their babies and stuff like that. That was big for me. You know, I had to, when I matured enough and I became old enough to really like just look back in hindsight, like, yo, look, your people been like working and grinding, you know, the right way to try to like build and stuff, and you just going left. You know what I'm saying? I had to put like more respect on it. So my parents for sure. And then as far as music go, like Jay-Z is like.
I was gonna say, and thinking about you and the art and acting, who are some of your influencers?
As far as music go, like I'm a big Jay-Z fan. Jay-Z, you got guys like Fat Joe. That was, you know, Fat Joe, Big Pun, God bless his soul. They was doing it for like, you know, the Latinos. They was like some of the first Latinos to really get big with the music. I love everything Jay-Z though. Everything Jay-Z like just represent, you know what I mean, just coming up from the bottom and, you know, just having a good head on his shoulders, turning it into more than just music, you know, and everything he's doing now.
Me gusta tu historia. Me gustaría también que tú me la digas también también a la gente latina que quiere escuchar esa historia, para que sepan lo que es Camden, el pasado, y Camden el presente. ¿Me puedes describir más o menos cómo ha sido tu vida en español un poquito?
Sí, más que tú sabes, una vida dura. Camden, siempre, como tú dijiste más temprano, Camden tenía los días cuando era un tiempo que los días eran como negros y cosas estaban malas, y para yo pasar por todo eso y Dios que me dio un chance para cambiar todo, tú sabes, para ver lo que yo estaba haciendo mal y que yo estaba en una dirección que era mal por la vida mía y los hijos míos, y me dio un chance para cambiar y para hacer cosas mejor, tú sabes. Y yo le doy gracias a Camden también, porque Camden, tú sabes, naciendo aquí te tiene fuerte. Cuando estaban haciendo las cosas malas también estábamos fuertes, pero después ahora para hacer las cosas bien y para tratar de arreglar todo lo que yo hice mal, todavía se tenía que tener fuerte, tú sabes, para hacer los cambios que yo tenía que hacer. So, le doy gracias a Dios, le doy gracias a mi familia, a mi mamá y mi país y a Camden.
Ok, perfecto. Muchas gracias.
Let me throw in a question here. I was just sitting here thinking about when you have to get ready for like a meeting or a big test, or you just got to get pumped up for the day. And Marcus, we'll start with you since we didn't get you for the last question. Like, what's the first song that you can think of that you play right away when you need to get pumped up? Like, what's that song?
Well, I grew up in the church.
You like Michael Johnson.
No Michael Jackson, but I do like Michael Jackson. But it's gospel. Yeah, it's really gospel.
That's supposed to be a Michael concert coming up in Atlantic City. A Michael impersonator.
No, so yeah, I grew up in the church. Obviously, I do love hip hop, but like the song that really gets me going is "God's Got a Blessing." And that gets me right, because I always had to go back to my faith. I mean, when you're growing up in an environment like Camden, you really gotta have a faith that things in the future are gonna be better. So even when I got ready for games, it was gospel. That'll get me right. There's knowing God gonna take me into this war. Going into meetings, I trust in God that whatever doors are supposed to open, they're gonna open. And if the doors close shut, thank God, because it protected me for something that wasn't for me.
Yeah. How about you, Jose? What's a song that you go to get you pumped up for whatever you have?
See, I like merengues. You know, that's
merengue.
You know,
so what's a
I'm
song?
Dominican.
What's a song? Give us a song. What's the song that you say, hit play because I gotta get ready for
I'm
this?
Dominican. Nah,
So merengue.
yes.
Um,
Because I was a kid, so back then it was the only thing you can listen was merengue. And bachata, I was not allowed to listen to bachata because back then bachata was for all the people. So I was a little young, so merengue was my thing. But now bachata is me now.
oh, bachata is you now.
Now,
So
because
which one
it
is
changed,
it?
it
It's either
changed.
merengue or bachata.
No, what
which
happened-
one gets you pumped up?
Oh, both.
Oh.
I'm
Okay,
Dominican.
here's another question. When we think about Camden, right, you know, for me, I think about food as well. You know, even though we are known as a food desert, we do have some of the, you know, greatest food sandwiches, you know, just home spots in, I would say, in the country, you know. And so, in thinking about that, what's the favorite restaurant? Porter,
I know.
with you.
I know.
You want to
No.
first?
If you're from North Camden, you know where you can buy the cheesesteak. Where? No.
Ruthie's.
Right there. He winner. Yeah. That was
We definitely grew up on Ruthie's. I mean, thinking about those snowstorms back in the 90s too, and then not having a grocery market to be able to go to, and Ruthie's definitely saved the day.
Yeah, Ruthie
Good
was the
ones
one.
as well.
Ruthie was the
Yeah,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Porter? What you think?
I'm from the Pollock area. They some of the most classic spots really like they're not around anymore. But I you know, again, everybody was Polish. When I first moved in Camden, some of the Polish people that was actually originally there, they were still there. And we had Waltz on Mount Ephraim. That was like a deli spot where they made all the hoagies and all stuff like that. Him and his wife ran it. It was, you know, family spot. Everybody ate there. They had pictures of everybody on the wall. Super classic spot. And it was, you know, that, and then you would go to the ice cream parlor right down the street and go get some classic ice cream, or the Panzerottis, the classic Panzerottis from the ice cream parlor. And when I think about just classic Camden food and stuff like that, I think about those spots. You know what I mean? From back in the day, for real, for real.
Yeah. Any other spots?
That's
What's
right.
some spots that we go to today? We talked about Ruthie's. We talked about some older spots in Pollock, but what's some spots that we go to right now to be able to break bread?
You got Milestones.
Milestone. Shout out to Brian. Milestone. Cam.
Don't forget about Nuance Cafe if you want a coffee and a smoothie.
Yeah.
Shout out to my folks too. My supervisor, she from Camden as well. Her name's Janine Davis, and her and her husband got a spot called Just Like That. It's one of my favorite spots.
Where's that?
It's right there on like 70 in the little plaza where like
Okay.
the Gitanos used to be. The Gitanos is actually still there.
Okay.
But right there in that little plaza, they got a spot called Just Like That they got really like. Since I met her husband, when they was catering out the car, like in platters, like
Yeah.
I haven't never tasted nothing that I didn't like. So I knew they was gonna kill it, like once they got their business and all that. And they doing it right now. So just like that, I would advise people to go take a trip there.
Okay, just like that. You know, we're putting a plug in. Go check them out. So, you know, in thinking about, again, our roots and thinking about what has shaped us, we are also here to speak truth, right? We're speaking truth. So we know that Camden has its challenges. What would be one thing that you would change right now in Camden? Cam?
One thing I would change in Camden right now is probably just the, I mean, we talked about the food, right? And like, I don't think that there's enough spots in Camden where where families can go and like sit down, and that's not a drive-through, right? Like, spend more time and where people can gather and community and gather as a community. Cause like for me, I came from a household where like my best friend, his mom made dinner every night. So some households ain't like that. Like, so I think that there should be more options, or like even me myself, I know like later in life, I want to like bring some to the city, some type of like community center, or like some type of like nutrition, health. You know, I definitely want the youth to get involved and learn how to cook. Like, I didn't learn how to cook until I went away to college. So I think there's a lot of skills and stuff like that we need to bring back to the city and uplift the youth.
Okay. Okay, Marcus?
You said one thing. Can I say two things?
Sure.
So
Take it away.
Yeah, as an investor, I want to see Camden as a place where you can live, work, and play. So I say more house and entertainment. I shouldn't have to go to Cherry Hill to go get entertainment or Philadelphia. We should have arcades. We should have more indoor. We should have bowling alleys. When it comes to housing, we should have single family homes. We should have condos. This area is so beautiful, and I want it to be a place where I can just live, play, and work and never have to leave.
Okay. All right, Porter?
For me, I think one of the most important things to add, what they added to, because I like what they gave, you spoke about it a little bit before we started, when you spoke about just the violence in Camden being down and how that has changed in our community. I think that's super, super vital and super important, especially for us to be able to have these things that Cam and Marcus was just talking about. You know, we want to be able to go out and enjoy our community without those worries that we've had for, like, you know, the previous years and the times before, you know, where people was actually like scared to go out in Camden. People didn't really want to, like, you know, just come here and check out because of the quote unquote how dangerous and how whatever it could be. And I think you mentioned earlier how, like, a lot of that has changed, you know, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think we could definitely have a lot of our own stuff where not only for us, but people from the outside will feel comfortable coming in and coming to sit down, coming to visit some of these places that we talking about, you know.
Yeah, I mean, to Marcus' point, as far as the housing and the development, I mean, just this past week, I think the city, in collaboration with Michaels, just announced the opening of the Oliver Station, I believe it is, in partnership with Virtua. And so the city is continuing to be able to look at the needs of housing, whether it's affordable housing, whether it's senior housing, and we're seeing these partnerships and we're seeing the progress. Habit Village is another one that has also been in the works of being developed. I know firsthand families that are in these new townhomes in Kramer Hill, and just excited about that. We spoke about that as well earlier. And then also just thinking about, you know, access to food, you know, and being able to also have access to entertainment, nightlife, where we can work, live, and play. Right, and thinking about our downtown areas, thinking about our heart of the city and our neighborhoods and what they bring, and all the initiatives that the city is also bringing forth, like the UBZ program and the city grants as well for businesses. And so one of the initiatives that the city had worked on with an ad hoc in regards to the liquor license is to be able to take away the limits. It was, I think, 500 square feet between liquor licenses, which was stunting the growth for, you know, for restaurants. And so the city's seen that need, that we need more restaurants. And so they wanted to create that initiative in order to be able to provide the expansion of our liquor license from liquor stores and bars to actual restaurants. And so we're seeing that come into play right now. But yeah, these are the things, these are the stories. But okay, so we spoke about what we want to see changed. In thinking about the last couple of years, what is one thing that you call out that you did see change, right? Like, let's think about the narrative, right? And we talked about we have to control the narrative. We talked about what it feels like when people hear that we're from Camden and we have that sense of pride. And, you know, what is something that you've seen that you say, you know what? Camden is on the right track, and that's why I'm here. Let's start with you, Jose.
Bueno, Camden va cambiando su forma, pero Camden necesitamos todavía compañías como franchise, como ShopRite. We need compañías que vengan a Ciudad de Camden, que den más servicio a la comunidad. Necesitamos también más entertainment para que la comunidad se mantenga activa y hacer la cosa mejor. Camden viene progresando poco a poco. Ya van haciendo nueva casa. Si ustedes se dan cuenta también, muchas casas que estaban viejas, todas las casas las han derrumbado y están haciendo casas nuevas. So, aquí en Camden hay muchas oportunidades que vienen nuevas para la ciudad de Camden. Now, what you see, Camden has changed in the present right now? What you see? What do you see is new that you didn't see before?
I mean, I could kick it off. So I work with several after-school programs here in the city. So I work with the mastery schools. I work with just the public schools. And I've seen like a lot of the parks being remodeled. So I lived in Centerville, the one across the street from the library, Ferry Avenue. They redid that one. The one not Pine Point, right here near Molina, they're doing that park over. And I think that's a good opportunity because like my mom growing up, like she didn't even want us going to the park. Like it was like a whole family trip if we wanted to go to a park, and because it was just unsafe. So I think I have seen that change. A lot of the places downtown, they're starting to like block off the roads, and just I think they're going to try to like build some stuff there. But we'll see.
Mr. Moneyman, what you say?
Well, I would say in 2008, I was in the eighth grade, and Camden, New Jersey was the murder capital of America. At that same time, the National Guard was deployed, and the entire police force was fired. Within my lifetime, it has drastically changed. We have one of the lowest violent crime rates in the state of New Jersey. I lived in Camden for several years, and I was going on jogs at 5 a.m. So that's something I've seen with my eyes. The active drug trade is not there. Open prostitution, none of that is there. I mean, Camden is a beautiful city to be in right now.
But also, Marcus, not to cut in, you're in finance. And so one thing that has also changed is the bond rating for the city, right? And
yes. So, I mean,
what's your perspective on that? I mean, we're A+, A-. Yes. We're in the A's, that's all I know.
Yes.
This is a good thing.
Every city gets a bond rating because you can issue out bonds as a city for different projects. It could be a revenue bond, it could be a general obligation. I won't go into the weeds, but your bond rating indicates how fiscally stable your municipality is. We have an A rating, which is showing to outside investors that not just the city is improving, our government is strong. Just like an outside investor, if you're in Europe or you're in Thailand, people pour their money into the United States because we have the perceived safest and strongest economy. That's what Camden is right now. We're showing outsiders that we've done the hard work. Why aren't you here?
And that's also a part of the narrative. So the narrative is also in what we are as a government. So shout out to our mayor, Victor Karstarfin, who has a background in finance and has been able to take us, to that A bond rating. Do you have anything else to add to that?
My man here, you just to answer what you see new in Camden. What you?
Definitely like just some of what Cam mentioned. I like seeing the parks, being renovated. They just did a park out our way to Whitman Park, right there on the Whitman Street, with grills and everything out there. You know what I mean? And it's just a good look, man. It's just a great look, and to be able to see that, to see families come out, they could go hit the park. Kids could be at the playground. They could be on the grills and stuff like that. It's it's great, it's needed. And you see a lot of construction. You see a lot of the new homes coming up, and a lot of the abandoned houses and stuff. People doing good business, people buying homes. You got teams of people, companies that are buying homes and building them up, and I think all of that is good. I think with some of the other stuff we mentioned here, the new businesses coming, I think it's going to provide more opportunity, more jobs and things like that. Because, when you have new businesses being created, that's new jobs being created, more opportunities for like some of the younger kids. And, that's the only thing I would like to see. I work in before and after school program, summer camp stuff. I've been doing that stuff for like 16 years now. And I think we just need definitely more of that so we can like have these safe havens for like the youth, and keep them busy, in the right direction. Yeah.
I definitely want to give a shout out to the Camden County Police Department in collaboration with Rising Leaders, I Dare to Care, Meet Mr. Brown. There's a collective that hosts an open gym on Fridays. It's also an opportunity if you're looking for volunteering opportunities, connect with them because it's also an opportunity for us as a community to be able to engage with the youth as well, speaking of those safe spaces.
I think the police department is doing a great job. Why? Because I've been in Federal Street, and back then there was no police in the street. And I think now I see the police is walking, go inside the business and ask the business owner, are you okay? So I think we have to do a shout out to the police department and the city of Camden. They're doing a great job.
Folks, please stay tuned for the first Dominican Parade and 6th Annual Restoration Day. That's this Sunday, August 17th. So go out and support it. Be right here on the Camden waterfront. And there's a new initiative. I'm not sure if it's actually new, but this is something that I've heard that came across our desk. The Senior Tax Property Reimbursement Program, Camden. For seniors that are 65 and older, you have Social Security benefits, and there's some other requirements. This is for you. Please log into the New Jersey Tax Division on the website, the New Jersey State Tax Division, to learn more. And then there's a number as well. Jose, if you want to also mention this number in Spanish, I'm going to give you this number to call to find out more information. Seniors, if you have a family member that's a senior, if you're a senior yourself, this is important. The Senior Tax Property Reimbursement Program. Here's the number to call for more information. 1-800 882
882
6597.
6597. Bueno, tenemos un programa en la ciudad de Camden para todas las personas que tengan 65 años. Le van a reducir los taxes. A todas las personas que tienen que coger Social Security y Disability, el Estado tiene un programa donde le va a reducir los taxes de la casa. El teléfono para usted llamar, para informarse, es el 1-800-882-6597. Aproveche esta oportunidad a todas las personas que tengan 65 años. Comunidad de Camden tiene ese servicio. Este domingo, 17 de agosto, tenemos aquí la parada dominicana en el waterfront de Camden, Nueva Jersey, donde estamos tirando aquí la parada dominicana. Esperamos que todos los latinos, no solamente dominicanos, se den presentes para que vean nuestra parada dominicana en el waterfront Camden, New Jersey.
And thinking about Camden and thinking about the roots of Camden, we're talking about resilience, we're talking about empowerment, but it's also about the businesses, the small businesses that really hold this community together. So in thinking about that, what was your first hustle? Porter?
For me, my first, I got to give two answers real quick, two brief answers. But again, I want to shout, because I just seen her recently in like a picture with like some Camden police and everything, and her name is Lisa. She had a flower shop. She was one of the, I believe she was Polish. She was one of the first people here when I first moved around. She had a flower shop on Mount Ephraim Avenue, and she gave me a job. I was about 13, 14.
Doing what?
I used to like run to the store, get her crushed ice for like her her soda. I would clean out, of course, flower pots, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I just always, she's always been like, you know, just a memory of mine, you know what I mean? And I applaud her for like just trying to like kind of like guide me in the right, because this was before I actually went left and just went down all the wrong paths.
Did she pay you?
Yeah, she used to pay me, yeah, for sure.
How old were you?
I had to be about 13 when she was just letting me like come in there. She would give me those little tasks to do, small tasks in the shop, small tasks. I would run to the ice cream parlor for her, get her crushed ice with her drink and all that stuff, and I'll never forget her, you know what I mean? Massive love for her, so shout out to her, and I just hope she's doing well wherever she's at in life. And besides that, my other answer was bagging groceries. Me and my friends used to hit Pathmark, and we used to just, you know, this when they would allow us to do it, we would just stand at the end of the aisles and be right there, some young bulls. We needed a couple of dollars, and we would just start bagging people's groceries. And we made a lot of, we used to go to Ponderosa with the money, like 6, 7 of my friends. We used to go to Ponderosa, just eat buffet style with the money. So we made good money doing that back in the day. Till they got us out of there. They got tired of us.
The reward is eating. Is that not Camden?
Yeah, we was hustling.
Right. Cam, how about for you?
I mean, like I said, I come from a big family, so babysitting my siblings.
Yeah.
I had to convince my mom to pay me though, because she didn't want to do it. So, you know, $5, $10 here and there.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Marcus?
I mean, back in the day, it used to snow in the Northeast. So when it snowed, I had to shovel. I mean, I could hit like 2-3 city blocks because people still had to go to work. So I'll get up early knowing I'll check Fox 29, see my school is out, 5 a.m.
What was the code? Do we remember the code?
I don't know the code.
I don't even know if they had the codes anymore. Was it 814? Anyway, there used to be a code.
I just know
that
it
you
used to
look
be
for.
right at the bottom, which is
Now
all
they
school
just say the
district.
district, right?
The school
Yeah, school closed, boom. On shuffle, make that money.
Yeah. So for me, I think the one that sticks out the most, because my family just came from, I had a family of entrepreneurs. Even though they were in education, they were still hustling. And I seen every hustle from selling hoagies to dinner platters to, my mom had a cookie business. But the one thing that stands out for me was my aunt. I did pageants, and my family was really good in being supportive. And so she made me believe I was just like the pageant expert. And so she hired me for what was known back then, the Kramer School pageant. And we were like 3rd, 4th graders, 5th graders, something like that. But me and my cousin, and she would say, I want to pay you minimum wage. It was probably like $2, $2.50, but that was enough money for me to go to that corner store, get my bag of Doritos, get my sunflower seeds, and my little juicy juice, And so it really was a good start for me as far as giving back to the community. Even though it was a minimum wage job, it was giving back to my community. And it was just, again, being able to be in front of the youth, even though I was youth back then myself, because I was just like in 6th grade, but I was in front of 3rd and 4th graders, and the way they looked at me, and that was my first gig that I can remember that really stuck to me. How about for you, Jose?
My
Your first hustle. we heard from the first episode, but
my first one was, let me think, I'm going back.
okay.
Was my mom used to give me money to go to school for lunch.
Yeah.
And I used to save the money. And when vacation time come, I went to Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
I bought a bike.
Oh.
I said, listen, I'm gonna buy me a bike, because I was a kid, so was no bike around.
So wait, your first hustle was starving yourself so you could get a bike?
A bike.
So your first hustle was making
the
sure
bike.
you didn't eat. You kept your money for
Get
lunch?
my money, and I went to my country. I said, what they need?
I love
So
it.
they need a bike. So I got a bike. So I was trying 10 Dominican cents to there around the street, and I was making money. And I bought 3 bikes out of that.
Listen, how old were you, Jose?
Maybe about 11 years old.
I can't, this guy.
Did you eat the free lunches?
Okay, real quick, one word. Cam, one word that describes Camden.
Camden is
One word.
Camden is a boss.
Marcus.
Resilient.
Porter.
Fearless.
Strong.
There you have it. Camden Strong. Thank you so much, Cam, Marcus, Porter, again, for sharing your stories, your wisdom, and your vision for Camden's future. You've each shown us that success doesn't mean leaving your roots. It means using them to build something stronger, something bigger. To our listeners, if you were inspired by what you heard today, share this episode, follow Camden Strong Podcast, and keep supporting the people and the projects making a difference in our city. Until next time, stay strong, Camden. I'm your host, Tamika Mason, and this is
Jose Marrero.
We'll see you soon.
Camden Strong.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Camden Strong. I think we did it good.
Awesome characters.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.